Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome back to CNU On The Lawn, the best and only source of CNU student perspective on a couch every other week. I'm Andrew.
I'm Wyatt. This episode is being recorded just as the tournament is starting for March Madness, so I'm going to give my official prediction for this week's sponsor of who's going to win the tournament. So congratulations to Houston, Duke, North Carolina, St. John's, Michigan State, Michigan, Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, on winning the tournament.
We have a very special guest this episode, and correct me if I mess this up.
You got it.
Emelith Kettlewell-Shiley?
That's right.
Oh my gosh, great. A PLP sophomore here at CNU and a delegate from CNU's Where's the Line, an organization founded on the hope that education, awareness, and philanthropic action can alleviate and prevent the suffering of sexual assault, domestic violence, and sex trafficking. Their goal is to elevate awareness of sexual abuse, bring change through vigilance, and healing through compassion. So, Emelith, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell us more, what is Where's the Line?
Yeah, so we're a service-based organization here on campus, pretty small club, but mighty. There is a group of us, we have an executive board, and basically what we do, we meet every Tuesday night, and we talk about different topics in sexual assault, stalking, domestic abuse, things of that nature, kind of just to raise awareness. That's something that's not talked about a lot, not nearly enough, and so especially in college where it's a really big issue, we want to shed some light on that. But not only are we a place that raises awareness, but we're also a safe place for survivors to come in, kind of share their stories. Everything that is said in the room does not leave the room. So we're a safe space for everyone to come into while also getting that education about these topics.
For sure, that sounds like a great resource. Do you guys have any special events coming up for students or any or for survivors or for anyone who needs that outreach?
Yeah, so we have quite a few events coming up in April for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, but a few of those include we're having an event called Take Back the Night, and that is going to be on April 16th at 5:30, currently in the Gaines Theater. Stay tuned if that location changes, but that is a national campaign where people just kind of take back the voice about sexual assault. Like I mentioned, people are often really quiet about it, and we don't want that to exist anymore. So it's kind of end the silence, end the violence. And so the way that it's going to be structured at CNU this year, we're going to hear from President Kelly, and then the attendees are going to take 2 laps around the Great Lawn, followed by some testimonies, and then a moment of silence for people who have survived through sexual abuse. And then the other one that we just want you all to be aware of, not an event that's happening, but April 30th is Denim Day. So what that is, wear jeans, wear a jean jacket, any denim that you own all day that day.
He's ready.
Yes, already ready. Wear it all day that day just to raise awareness. That's for the narrative that we've all heard it. She deserved it because of what she was wearing. And so it actually stems from in Italy, there was a court case that was actually overturned because the perpetrator had decided that her jeans were too tight, and so she would have had to help, and therefore consented. And so what happened then was the Italian parliament came into work the next day all wearing tight jeans. And so now all around the globe, people wear jeans that day to kind of fight back that narrative. Wow. So that's what we have coming up.
Yeah, sounds like you guys do a lot.
Sorry, a little heavy.
No, it's something that I feel like we need to talk about more. So I'm glad that we have people on campus like you guys doing a lot. How can somebody support, other than attending these events and participating, which is obviously going to support, what are some ways that people at CNU can support Where's the Line a little bit more personally?
Yeah, so I think that in order to support Where's the Line, you don't actually have to directly support our club, but support the mission. And so if you know a survivor, support them. The appropriate way to do that is not to go up to them and ask them about it, obviously. Sure. But if you know that they went through something, especially during the month of April, go up to them, just be like, hey, just know that I love you. If you need anything, please let me know. And also, if you see something, say something. It's such a basic principle, but it really can help people out. You don't know what you're going to be preventing if you do feel like encouraged to, and if you feel comfortable like approaching someone, if you're not too sure about a situation, it's easier to prevent something before it happens rather than have it happen and then there's the repercussions of all of that. But also just know your resources on campus. We have the Title IX office, we're your resource. There's also the Student Affairs office has the care team that's there for you. So know your resources, but obviously do come to our events. And then even if you don't want to actually be a part of the club, you can still come out to a meeting or two, just see what it's about, learn a little bit to educate yourself so that you can help prevent these things from happening.
Yeah. Definitely. So can you talk, I know you mentioned it already, can you talk a little bit about Fear to Freedom and what they do and what you guys do with them?
They go around to different schools all across the state. Sometimes they'll go out of state and they'll have those kits packed and raise awareness about sexual assault. And we work really closely with them. They help us with Hour to Empower, but we also do Shadow event in the fall semester. That's another annual event where survivors anonymously share their stories. And they partner with us on that as well. And they're always checking in on us, seeing if we need anything. And a lot of us will actually go over there to do separate service as well.
Gotcha. So they have an office based here.
Yes,
okay,
it's
great.
right down the street, right down J. Clyde. Yep.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So you've talked about it a little bit, but April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. How can the CNU community contribute to participating in this in a positive way? I know you've talked a little bit about what individuals can do, but is there anything that you or your organization thinks that CNU broadly could contribute to?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I definitely think being knowledgeable about those campaigns that are happening throughout the month of April. But I also think we're a university that really values service and giving our time to the community. And so I think find out if there's any local places. It might be Fear to Freedom, it might be something else. Maybe there's a women's shelter, maybe there's a domestic violence shelter that you could go and give your time to, give some resources to. But overall, I think as a school, we could be a little more cognizant of the fact that this is an issue, and that's what we're working to do. But honestly, I think if everyone does their research, I think we're taking really great steps into people being knowledgeable about it. We got the new Title IX coordinator, and President Kelly is going to be at our Take Back the Night event. So we're definitely making the right steps, but if people are just willing to show up and show out and really make that a big movement so that we are fighting against that, especially at a university level, I think that's really what's important.
I think building off that a little bit, can you talk a little bit about what the average student, someone like me who is certainly not a survivor, does not have that experience, but wants to support people in those positions and people who have experienced such awful things, what can they do to support those people?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking that. I think that the biggest thing is always just listen. Don't assume that you know anything because you don't. The two biggest things is listen and always believe what you're being told. A lot of the time there's that narrative that like, oh, I know that person, they would never do that. Never say that to someone. If they are trusting you enough to confide in you about what happened to them, believe every single word that they're telling you fully, and listen to what they're saying, kind of internalize it a little bit. I know that it can be hard to sit with that discomfort, but honestly, just imagine what they had to go through. You can listen to it for a moment. But also, I think the biggest thing is just let them know that they are loved, that they are valued, that they are cared for, that they're beautiful, that they're strong, because survivors can often get really down on themselves because of what happened to them. It is really dehumanizing. It's really humiliating. And so I think that if they have someone who just is there for them and is supporting them and is lifting them up, I think that's the best thing that you can do, is just be there for that person.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That is definitely something I think we needed to hear. So shifting gears just a little bit, Emelith, what brought you to CNU, and what is maybe one of your favorite memories as a member of the CNU community?
Yeah, so I absolutely love CNU. I'm a tour guide, very big fan of the university. But I think that what really brought me here is the opportunities. I accepted my spot basically as soon as I found out that I got into the President's Leadership Program, because I was really excited about that experience, and I've been super involved with it. I've worked summer orientation for it in Leadership Adventure last summer. I'm doing it again this summer. And there are things that I'm really excited about. I've gotten to go to so many conferences. I think just the staff here and the faculty is really invested in you and want to give you opportunities, and I saw that when I was researching the college. And so when I got that spot in the President's Leadership Program, I immediately accepted it. But some of the things that I've really enjoyed during my time here, I went into Greek life. I joined Alpha Delta Pi. Running home is one of my favorite memories. I'm on the executive board of that sorority now as a vice president of operations. And also, I think honestly, this is like kind of silly, but one of my favorite memories was when the eclipse happened last year. It was so like immaculate movie college vibes because everyone was on the lawn. It was packed. Everyone was out there with their blankets, with their dogs. And it was like honestly such an amazing moment that really drew in that idea of community that we have here. So I think that's kind of what brought me here and the little things that I enjoy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Going off of some other philanthropy work, can you talk a little bit about what your sorority has done philanthropy-wise and what you're involved in there?
Yeah, so AD Pi actually has 3 philanthropies. That sounds like I'm just advertising my sorority. But we have 3 philanthropies. So the Max Gruber Foundation, which is an anti-hazing foundation, also super duper important. And then we also have the Alpha Delta Pi Foundation that raises money for sisters in AD Pi who have gone through like a crisis. So the fires that are happening, the hurricanes that just happened, we're helping those sisters who are in financial need. And that's not just while you're in the sorority actively. That could be you're 85 years old and you were in AD Pi, you're going to get that help. So we raise money for that. They also do have anti-hazing campaigns in the AD Pi Foundation, as well as they do have resources for people who have survived assault as well. But our main one is actually the Ronald McDonald House Charities. So for those who may not be familiar, the Ronald McDonald House Charities is a place to stay for families who have children who are undergoing treatments, often cancer treatments in hospitals, and it's out of the way. The families go and live there completely cost-free. They are not expected to pay a cent while they're there or after they're there. And so that's what they do, and that's our major philanthropy. We actually send sisters almost every single Friday to go cook meals for the families that are staying there. And we have a bunch of big philanthropy events we do on campus, such as AD Pi Hop. We make pancakes for the campus community to kind of raise money for those initiatives. But like I said, we do get to go in person and actually give to the Ronald McDonald Houses. We also collect the little pop tabs, so if anyone ever has little tabs on their drinks, definitely give those to an AD Pi because those are actually turned into the Ronald McDonald House Charities. They sell them for money, and that money supports the families that are staying there.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
So yeah.
Very neat.
What about philanthropy work has drawn you to do so much of it? I mean, you seem to be helping everyone.
Yeah, I love service. I really do. Everyone will say that because it makes you sound like a good person, which you are a good person if you're doing service, but I genuinely just thoroughly enjoy it. I think it's really important to give back to the community. I personally didn't really come from much, and so being able to kind of help support people in any way that they may need is something that I find really important. I was always encouraged to volunteer growing up. I did 4-H, and we did community service all the time. I worked with my local animal shelter back home, and then obviously being in PLP, tons of service opportunities, and it's just something that I really enjoy, not only because you're giving back to the community that has given you things as well, but also because you make so many connections and you also gain so many skills, communication, leadership, all of those things that really apply into the career fields. I can't talk today. And then, yeah, it's just a really great time to meet people while still like contributing to the community that you live in.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I don't know if we have anything else to ask you about. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Not really. Just thank you guys so much for having me. This really is an important topic for people to be aware of, especially during the month that's going to be posted in April. And so I just really appreciate the initiative of y'all reaching out to invite us.
Of course.
Absolutely. We're super happy to have you and love to get the word out.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to help us with the outro?
Sure.
So we gotta. So we're going to look at the camera and say, "We'll be seeing you on the lawn." It's very clever.
It's a pun.
I love it. I love it.
Just follow along.
Okay.
And we'll be
Seeing you on the lawn.
Okay, great. And now we have to
we
get
walk outside.
off the set. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.